For as long as he could remember, Alex had been a collector of rare video games. His shelves were lined with vintage consoles and cartridges, each one a piece of gaming history. But one item in his collection stood out, not for its rarity, but for the terror it brought into his life. It started at a flea market. Alex was browsing through a stall filled with old electronics when he spotted it, a plain, unmarked cartridge. The seller claimed it was a prototype, something never released to the public. Intrigued, Alex bought it, not knowing it would change his life forever. That night, Alex plugged the cartridge into his old console. The screen flickered to life, displaying a pixelated title screen, The Game of Fate. The graphics were crude, the music eerie. Alex started playing, and at first, it seemed like a simple platformer. But as he progressed, something strange happened. The game began to mirror his life. The character looked like him. The levels were set in places he recognized, his apartment, his workplace, even his childhood home. And then, the game started predicting things. It showed him receiving a phone call from his boss, and minutes later, his phone rang. It showed him spilling coffee on his desk. And the next morning, he did just that. Alex tried to brush it off as coincidence, but the predictions became more specific, more personal. The game showed him arguing with his girlfriend, and that night, they had the exact fight the game had depicted. It showed him finding a $20 bill on the sidewalk, and the next day he did. But then, the game took a dark turn. It showed him standing on a bridge, staring down at the water below. The screen flashed the words, "Game over." Alex shut off the console, his hands trembling. He tried to convince himself it was just a prank, a sick joke, but the game wouldn't let him go. Every time he turned on the console, the game was already running. It showed him more scenes from his life, each one more disturbing than the last. It showed him losing his job, his girlfriend leaving him, and finally, it showed him standing on the bridge again. This time, the words were different. Your fate is sealed. Desperate, Alex tried to destroy the cartridge. He smashed it with a hammer, but the next day, it was back on his shelf and scathed. He threw it in the river, but it reappeared in his console. He even tried giving it away, but it always found its way back to him. The final straw came when the game showed him a date just 1 week away. It showed him standing on the bridge one last time, the words "Game Over" flashing in bold red letters. Alex knew what it meant. He tried to avoid the bridge, but on that day, he found himself drawn to it, as if the game was controlling him. When they found Alex's body, the console was still on. The game paused at the final screen. The cartridge was gone, never to be seen again. But some say that if you search hard enough, you might find it at a flea market, in a thrift store, or maybe even in your own home. And if you play it, you'll see your own fate, just like Alex did. Because the game isn't just a game, it's a curse. And once you start playing, there's no way to stop it.